And we are live.
Guys, what happens when you get an international movie with a budget of only $15 million as compared to some of the big budget, 200 million, 300 million blockbusters that are supposed to be great?
Why don't you tell us?
Arguably, you get one of the greatest movies of the year in Godzilla -1.
Debatable.
Not debatable.
Yeah. Godzilla -1! Woo! Welcome back, guys, gals, and other pals, to another edition of The Final Credits. You may notice we're doing things a little differently because we got a new area to actually do stuff. We could reach out and touch people now. Hi, Pancakes. How you doing? What's up?
That's creepy, but yes.
Wow.
Don't make me
We
regret
have our own
this.
studio.
You will regret this instantly, Johnny. But anyway, all right. So regardless, we are here to talk about, for the first time, I guess, seeing Godzilla -1. And like I said in the intro, this had a budget of roughly $15 million. I don't know, like, if that's in comparison to, like, you know, if that is a bigger number in Japan, because I don't know how currency works.
2.2 billion yen.
Thank you, Pancakes.
Yen.
Pancakes with the numbers.
Nice.
Now,
Spade, you may be fired.
Technically, does that mean that it could also be less than that? Because like 15 million is the budget, and they can't cross that. So maybe they even spent less than that, or is it just that was like the total that they reported on?
That is a total that I believe they reported on. Now,
Still-
I don't have the actual number in front of me of what it has currently made. Having said that, though, when I went to go saw it, it was essentially shown as like a nationwide release, but it was really only shown in like certain theaters. Just happened to be like across. It was speckled across like, you know, the country.
Right.
Having said that, though, as of the time of this recording, which is a week later, 2 weeks later,
A week.
they have decided, no, we need to open it to a lot more theaters. So the ones that saw it, they actually listened. Guys, they listened to us.
It needed to be in as many. Theaters
really
as
did.
possible. It's just such a good movie.
That's the thing.
Let's
Yeah.
let's get into how good of a movie this is.
So-
'Cause this
all
was
right,
such
hold
a
on, hold
good
on.
Yes,
movie.
absolutely. I
Hold on,
definitely
hold
do.
on. Guys, wait, hold on a second.
Yes.
Just so everybody knows,
Uh-huh.
the three of them saw it. I did not because I was too busy doing this. So,
So what you're saying
forgot
is,
about
as of
that.
right now, your opinion doesn't matter.
yes.
Okay, cool.
And
so
that's why I say it's debatable because I haven't seen it
'Cause
yet.
you
So I
haven't
don't know.
seen it yet.
It is what it
There-
is.
Then there is no debate.
There
with you
really
'cause you
isn't.
didn't
No,
see it.
No, there's a debate.
guys, Spade has to go on our word right now. Oh,
I guess.
oh, I like this power.
let's
I
see what
like it
happens.
so much.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so anyway, guys. All right, so I didn't see it with you guys. I did a solo video. I apologize about that. I had my own
Selfish.
circumstances going on. But how? Like, I want to talk about you guys. How was the theater experience for you guys? Because you guys were sitting next to each other. You guys were in there. Like, what?
Okay.
What
okay.
was it?
So
Well, besides the crying baby.
yeah,
Well,
I was gonna say
yeah,
we went to the Staten Island Atrium Cinema, which if you live on the island, everybody knows what that place
We
is.
we
I
talked
nev-
about this. I beat you, I think, by like an hour.
I never go there anymore for specific reasons, and it's just like that's the place where you like find like all the class acts on the island. And one of them brought their toddler, their kid.
I
So half the
did it-
time we were
okay,
listening to
I
a kid crying
didn't-
and running around the theater.
To the Staten Island Atrium, I did not mean to poopy all over the theater. That was not the case. I didn't mean that,
I'm
guys.
pooping all over the theater.
Wow.
Attack me, not the rest of.
That is at Johnny
Should we keep this-
64
should we
on
keep this
Instagram.
in?
But
This guy.
okay,
Blame him.
regardless, though, the point that I'm trying to say is when you guys were minus the crying baby, minus like all the things that we cannot control, what was the experience for you guys? Were there cheers? Was there crying? Was there laughing? What happened?
It got an applause.
It got an applause.
First things first, people applauded when the movie ended.
Great.
It was just, and I mean, obviously we were in that applause as well, and I mean, we were just like I was at least blown away, and also just so relieved that like movies like this could still exist.
Yeah.
That I was just fully invested in the story. I was fully invested in the characters. I felt emotionally attached to it, and like and I feel like the whole theater was like in that mentality too. That they were also feeling like what the movie was like trying to make everybody feel. Like it was just a full on like movie experience. And again, like you said, $15 million budget versus like the $200 million flops we've been subjected to all year almost. I think Hollywood has to take a hard look at this movie and take notes, because the differences were there.
Okay.
And the excuses were none for Hollywood, in my opinion.
There you go.
It felt like getting back to basics, like the classic Godzilla films brought into the present day, the modern day. And Japan's like, we'll do it ourselves. And it was just so well done. And Godzilla didn't even need a origin story. I mean, they said things here and there, like triggered by the nuclear fallout, and that contribute to what we saw. But he just appeared, and we got used to Godzilla being the human savior in certain movies, battling these big monsters. This big mofo was just all about the destruction. It was back to the big villain Godzilla, and the humans were fending for themselves. And I love the era that they picked, post World War II, where it was modern Japan, in the modern Japanese, like their most sensitive history, to see how they would be affected by Godzilla.
So I'm very happy that you brought that up.
Yep.
Because truly, this was a throwback to the original movie. It actually, and for all the diehards out there, I apologize if I butcher the name of this. The look of Godzilla was even a throwback to Godzilla Bushiro, I believe. It looked exactly like an old school Godzilla, not like the legendary version that we have, the American version, which I still love personally. But this is like thick, meaty, strong Godzilla that we got. And very much like how when I saw Rogue One, when I was like, oh my God, I'm afraid of Darth Vader again. I looked at this and everyone in the theater was just like a gasp of how frightening this Godzilla was. We had a Jaws moment. We had a Jaws moment of Godzilla chasing people in a tugboat. And I'm like, oh my God, run.
I was
On
just
the
thinking
edge
of
of my
that scene.
seat.
I was just as scary, like all the other scenes where he's attacking the city, almost as scary. Like for some reason, like because at first when he was in that boat chase scene, like his head is underneath the water and you just see his spines just like sailing.
Oh
like
my
shark.
God, yeah.
But then at one point he makes his head go above the water and you see his eyes just like. Can you imagine just being in a boat and a gigantic, angry, ferocious Godzilla with those angry eyes and teeth is just like matching the speed of your boat and coming right for you? I remember just seeing that scene and I was just like, oh my God, this was like my heart was like starting to go.
Johnny,
and this is what I'm talking about. That like the movie made me feel like whatever the characters are feeling.
Yeah.
And we'll get into the characterization in a moment because I think that was a highlight. But
So what you guys are saying is that this movie was literally Jaws, but
No.
in 2020.
no, that was just one scene. That was one scene.
That was,
Well then, never mind.
You tried. You tried, Spade. Listen, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for trying to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But-
And was this the biggest Godzilla, like the tallest Godzilla yet?
No.
No, they
This is
flat out
confirmed?
said- yeah, it's confirmed that they
'Cause he was
they went
huge.
above
Yeah.
and beyond to make him
So-
bigger than the American version.
Yeah.
Well, hang on a second though, because let's go back a couple of years too. Let's talk about Shin Godzilla just for a second.
This one's still bigger.
You have
I
30
know.
seconds.
I hate Shin Godzilla. They literally only made Shin Godzilla because Legendary Pictures made the American Godzilla the biggest one.
Right.
And Toei was very much just like, no, we can't have that. Fire up the reels. We need to make a new Godzilla movie. Only made him 10 meters taller.
Still bigger.
And
So petty.
Still taller.
So petty.
And the movie was garbage. I'm not sorry. I'm done talking about Shin Godzilla.
That's good. That was actually like around 30 seconds. Good
And you
Wow.
didn't have faith in me. I'm
So-
telling you, Johnny.
One classic trait of any version of Godzilla, of course, is the atomic breath. And one detail one detail I absolutely love is seeing the scales on the back of Godzilla light up one by one. Go ahead, Graham.
Let me tell you something.
Do you need a cigarette right now?
Oh, maybe after talking about this. So the way how they did it with this was just immaculate because we've never seen anything like this before with his scales popping out. Like we've seen
Such a
the
nice
glow coming from like up his tail up to like his head and his spine. With this version, we actually see the scales pop out, and when he's fully charged, they all like pop back into his back. Essentially, it looked like it was loading a gun, and then he fired, and it was destructive.
It has to be by far, like, I mean, compared to like the legendary Godzilla, like his version of the atomic breath, that atomic breath is nothing. That was just bad breath in comparison to this.
How?
Because it was
dare you.
actually an atomic bomb of atomic breath. It literally shoots up, like, it might as well shoot a bomb from his mouth to like wherever he's shooting to. Because it was like a Hiroshima moment. It
I
blew
can't
up
argue
the
with that,
entire
yeah.
city. It was a whole, and like just the nature of like how it showed all the buildings vaporizing, the people getting blasted at it, like, you know, like the shockwave coming through. Christopher Nolan must have been watching this movie like, what the
Christopher
hell?
Nolan was taking notes.
Like, I just spent all this money and all this time on marketing Oppenheimer and that
All
one
I
scene.
needed was just a gigantic titan to breathe on something. My God.
And this little studio from Japan was just hiding in the shadows
Well,
this entire time, just to,
listen,
outdo that. But it was
Johnny,
it was phenomenal.
I will forgive you for not understanding Toei, but Toei is not a little studio out of Japan. Toei is money. Toei, I think, may be like the equivalent to our Warner Brothers. Like, essentially.
Can we talk about the human story? How amazing that was, well done. Yeah, we're all there to see Godzilla, but the human story and the God was right on par with the humans.
I'll put it to you this way. In almost any kind of movie that they do, movie or show, where like the main character is Optimus Prime, the Transformer, Godzilla, the Terminator, whatever, when that's like the main focus, but we have all these like human side characters that we do see more than what we paid to actually see. This is the one time that I can honestly think of that I was very happy with both the human side characters. I'm going to call them that because Godzilla is the true star, and Godzilla also being in the movie. I genuinely rooted for these human characters. Yep. I wanted them to succeed. I laughed when they laughed. I cried when they cried. Like I said, in the tugboat scene with them, Godzilla chasing them, I wanted them to get away. I want any other time. I'm like,
my heart
Godzilla,
was like
chomp
beating,
them,
like
chomp them. I don't care. Get rid of them. More scenes of Godzilla. I cared about them.
You know what the secret was? Like this movie, it might as well
Actual human emotion.
That and good writing and all that stuff, of course. But I feel like this movie, it didn't need to be a Godzilla movie. Like Godzilla just happened to be in it and just destroying everything. Because really, this was a movie that took place right after the Second World War.
Yep.
Japan is obviously reeling from that. Right off the bat, we see everybody just in shambles, like living in shambles, pretty much trying to pick up the pieces. And then along comes Godzilla and makes everything worse. And so we see how the protagonist, especially, like how he's reeling from everything, how he's trying to get back on his feet, how he's thrown into a situation where he has a kid out of nowhere. Like a woman gives him a kid, runs away, and then he finds the woman later on. And like, long story short, they start to live together just to make ends meet, not even romantically. And like, it added so many layers to this, like the protagonist story, the supporting character story, that you like when Godzilla finally comes and attacks and does his thing. You are genuinely scared for them. You're praying that they're gonna live through it, and like when it comes time for them to fight Godzilla and everything, like you're getting hyped with them.
Yeah.
Shout out to the music as well, because like that theme when they were about to fight him on the final scenes.
Again, a throwback to the original of just that. Da-na-na, da-na-na,
Yeah.
da-na-na.
Oh my god.
I'm like,
so good. So freaking good.
To add more to the human story, the main character, the biggest thing for him was a redemption story, because he was pretty much declared a coward. He was a kamikaze pilot that was supposed to sacrifice himself in World War II. And then at the beginning of the movie, he lands his plane on the island and to for his plane to get fixed in quotes. And then when Godzilla makes landfall, you know, he has a clear shot. Not that it was going to do any damage, as we find out later on with Godzilla, but he froze up, and that whole crew of essentially engineers or mechanics get destroyed, and there was only one survivor other than that pilot. And you see him struggle along with the hard times in Japan, and he is one of the main heroes when flying his plane full of bombs into the mouth of Godzilla to blow him to
Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come.
Blow him the fuck up.
Well, listen, that still didn't happen because Godzilla don't break for anybody.
Literally.
So,
Literally.
of which there were a lot of elements to this movie that I don't know if I discussed with you guys yet, but if they decide to make a direct sequel to this movie,
Which they freaking better.
they may not.
They better.
They may not. I
No.
would love if they did, but what I'm trying to say though is that as Pancake said earlier, like this man has a wife and a child
Out of nowhere.
out of nowhere. But regardless, though, this is literally the perfect setup, and the OG Godzilla fans will also know this as well. The perfect way to set this up would be for Godzilla to return, because Godzilla didn't die from the giant bomb thing? Who could have known? Anyway, I'm sorry. So have Godzilla come back, and his kid, the daughter, now grows up and picks up her piloting skills from her father and is now the pilot for Mechagodzilla. Because Mechagodzilla is piloted from a separate plane.
Mechagodzilla for just the sequel, I think, is too soon. I would keep him until
listen.
the third and fourth movie.
Listen.
Because there better be a third and fourth movie in this minus universe.
I just want to know.
Yeah.
Was Godzuki in this?
No, he wasn't.
This is
Listen,
some bullshit.
He's going to be in the
Listen.
fifth movie.
I agree. No,
Fifth.
no, he better be. No,
Some bullshit.
Actually, firstly, unfortunately, yes, he was not in this movie.
That's bullshit.
I agree. Godzuki should be in the sequel.
Yeah.
You
I
could
totally
definitely
agree.
do something with that. Fine. If you want to say, oh, Godzilla died or whatever, you get a young Godzilla who now comes onto, the scene or whatever and is now our good guy Godzilla. Because in the original, Godzilla straight up died. That's how we actually get to Mechagodzilla, but that's a story for another time, kids. Stick around. Maybe I'll tell it.
Let me ask
long
this.
story.
Let me ask this question.
dare you.
What is it about this giant lizard, dinosaur, huge monster coming out of the sea, doing absolute destruction since the 50s? That we love so much, and it's become such a pop culture icon that no matter how many versions, that the love and the fans keep coming back.
Well, Pancakes, let me answer your question with another question. What makes the Power Rangers so iconic?
Probably the nostalgia of it and the memories and how campy it is, but everything about it.
Everything you said and more, and the short answer for that is that it's iconic because it's iconic. It's
Exact-
very much like how the Kardashians are celebrities. They just are because they're celebrities, and
How
that's
dare
it.
you mention them in the same breath as we're talking about Godzilla?
Well, hey, listen, someone needs to put it out there. But regardless, though, Godzilla is one of those things that I hope never goes away. I hope is always here in some form or another, and I
it
just
will.
hope that they don't mess it up.
Well, Godzilla too, like any iconic piece of media, like he's adaptable. You can put him
Yes.
in any type of movie, maybe not any type of movie, but
Maybe
like
not.
you can like conform and shape him for different scenarios, different types of kaiju movies, I guess you could say. And like that's why he's withstood the test of time, because you could just kind of retell and add to his story again and again, and it's entertaining every single time. Plus, it's Godzilla. Even if you're not a fan of the Godzilla movies, you just gotta like have love for the big lizard. You know what I mean?
Listen,
He's
you could try.
he's just
Just
great.
don't ever pair him up with Matthew Broderick. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah. Well,
It had to be said, and I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
At the time it came out, you enjoyed it as a kid. So.
Yeah, because I didn't know it because I was a kid and I didn't
didn't-
know any better. And then I saw Final Wars, and I'm like, this is what I've been missing. Oh, Oh, I'm so sorry, Godzilla. Your truest form.
You know what this movie did for me though? Like what? Like the big revelation moment for me is just that like all this year, like we mentioned before, that we've just been subjected to movies with big budgets that just ended up being a whole lot of nothings, right?
Yep.
And again, every time somebody's either trying to defend it or describe it or whatever, like the same word's always used, and it's called like fun. It was a fun movie. It wasn't that bad. Like it wasn't great, but it was a fun movie. And I feel like every time somebody uses that word fun, they're only just describing one type of movie and saying a movie can only be fun if it's like a zany, wacky, wild roller coaster ride that's fun for the whole family. And that's what makes it like a fun movie. But I had so much fun watching Godzilla -1, despite how dark and dreary and at times hopeless the story got, and like how emotionally effective it was. But that's what made it fun. And I think people in Hollywood especially have forgotten that. Like a movie that does that to you is also very fun, if not more, because the more invested somebody is in the movie that they're watching, the more that they're going to respond to it. And nobody's been responding to movies like, like the Marvel movies we've been getting, like Transformers and Fast X and all that stuff, just because they've all just been cookie cutter, like just get it out of the gate and put a product out type of mentality behind it with like bad visuals, bad CGI, I don't like low quality storytelling. But it doesn't have to be a wild, crazy, low stakes, humor riddled story just to make it fun. It could be fun despite all that. And I think, again, like Hollywood really needs to take a close look at this movie and say, wow, this is what we've been doing wrong this year, because they achieved all of this with a $15 million budget, a fraction of what we've been dishing out per movie this year. So
yeah, but see, the thing is though, A24 does that all the time, right? They take a small budget and they make great movies.
They make great
for the
movies,
most part.
but they don't make
Godzilla-sized movie.
like, but they don't make movies like this that really like capture your like investment and emotion. And like,
That's unfortunately
characters
the
and things like
problem with A24 movies. And I do, Spade, I'm with you with that 1000%. But the thing is, they don't stand out. They don't stick out. And unfortunately, like you just said, yes, Godzilla sized. But sometimes you have to be Godzilla sized in order to stand out.
that. And this is the thing too. Like you compare one A24 movie with another A24 movie, they're both A24 movies.
Yeah.
You, again, talking about Godzilla's adaptability, you compare Godzilla -1 to the Godzilla 2014. The differences are night and day.
Absolutely. 1000%.
But it's still Godzilla, but, you have two very different types of movies that are both entertaining and fun in their own way, but that's what, that's kind of what the point is here, is that you're just that much more invested in the movie.
Underrated Godzilla movie, Godzilla 2000.
Godzilla 2000 was pretty decent. I'm going to be honest. That wasn't bad.
I remember the previews for that movie. I don't know if I watched it. I remember seeing the Matthew Broderick 1998 movie in theaters, and as a kid thinking it was entertaining, and that was like the definitive Godzilla. But then I grew up.
Yeah. It's almost like I said that already. And I agree with you. Yeah.
So we're veering off topic
Yeah.
right now.
we are.
So at the end of the day, what would you say? See it, not see it, or
Absolutely see it.
See it twice.
Even if you're not a Godzilla fan, like I said, this is more than just a Godzilla movie, and the story for the humans alone will invest. Despite the fact that it's all Japanese subs.
No. Let me put this in perspective to you.
Oh, it's-
Johnny,
it's
I'm
not
so
dubbed,
sorry.
it's subbed?
No,
No,
it was
it's all
subbed.
subs.
Let me put this in perspective for you, okay? I think, Spade, I may have actually made these two official anime fans because this was essentially a live action anime with
it
all
was.
the heartstrings, with the giant threat coming through, with the kooky, because there was one character
With-
that was a little more kooky than
With the
others.
ragtag underdogs working together to beat. Yeah, that I love the most.
There you
too.
go.
Yeah,
There you go.
I
I just made them anime fans.
For the record, I was already an anime fan. Maybe not as big as you, but
Well, getting back to
You're a classic anime fan, which I appreciate.
Getting back to Godzilla -1, absolutely 100%, no question, go see it.
So, Spade, you've been told thrice to go see this movie. Now, get your butt in gear and go see it.
well, ladies and
Por
gentlemen,
favor.
our closing thoughts is that I should go watch this movie.
everybody should.
Absolutely.
And everyone else should too. So with that said, I don't
What
know. What do you guys think?
Oh, what are your thoughts? Let us know down in the comments. Now, yeah, no,
we can't do
please
that.
keep
We
going.
can't-
Oh, no, yeah.
How are we gonna do the roll credits now?
Oh, well,
Roll credits. Just don't hit your mics.
I was
Roll
about to say,
credits.
yeah, no. Am I just supposed to flip this table now? Like,
Roll credits.
oh, wow. John,
Roll the table.
Just say your usual bit.
well, guys, thank you for listening to us. Now, we appreciate each and every one of you. We love you all. Please give us a listen, give us a like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Let us know how you feel. Are we right? Are we wrong? Is this probably the best Godzilla movie? I don't know, but it was definitely better than Shin Godzilla. Until then, roll credits. We're out.
Roll credits. It absolutely was the best Godzilla. I meant to say that earlier.